4 cylinders are not the answer or solution. They're not what we want, not what we asked for. Toyota needs to stop pandering to the EPA and start listening to the people keeping them in business.
Does he realise the people keeping them in the business are buying RAV4s and Camrys and Corollas? Just full vanilla motoring.
Pure vanilla. That's a 10.
Look, they should build an engine and car, and then when it comes to production, it won't pass EPA emissions or anything.
No.
But they should build it because the people want it. But it may not actually get on the road, but that's irrelevant.
Shorto, did you say the people?
The people.
So many people I see say modern cars are boring, they have no soul, they have no this and that. I'm thinking, what have you driven? Modern performance cars will completely out-handle, out-brake, out-accelerate all these old cars. They are so much faster. And they're actually, everyone says they're too expensive. They're actually not, if you have a look at the price of cars from the 90s, performance cars. Have you heard that Toyota are planning on creating a new 2JZ killer?
Z. 2JZ.
Z.
2JZ.
Z.
2J. I never say the G. The Z. Z. Z.
No, I just call them 2Js. Who calls them 2JZs? That's American. In an era where many automakers are hitting the brakes on internal combustion engine development due to the global shift towards electrification, Toyota is accelerating in the opposite direction.
Are they allowed to do that?
How on earth is that even possible? Is that allowed by the WEF?
No.
The air is unbreathable.
Alongside Mazda and Subaru, now we've covered this in Bench Talk before, this is just a bit more detailed. Alongside Mazda and Subaru, Toyota is going full throttle with a new series of high-performance 4-cylinder engines aiming to not just keep ICE alive, but push it to new heights. And their target? Surpassing the legendary 2JZ GTE engine that famously powered the Supra.
What?
Hang on.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
How can a 4-cylinder surpass the almighty 2J?
Rubbish.
Look at the power a K-Series makes, it's up there with 6 cylinders.
Pound for pound, the old little GR Yaris motor is outperforming it quite well, isn't it?
Toyota unveiled its next-gen engine plans during an ICE Technology Summit in May, and they were beauties. The upcoming engine lineup will include naturally aspirated and turbocharged 4-cylinder units with displacements ranging from 1.5 to 2 litres. It's good that they're still doing 2 litres. But the real showstopper is a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder that Toyota engineers have set their sights on making superior to the iconic 2JZ.
What did you say?
How's it going to sound like a 2J?
Exactly. At the end of the day, Luke, still doesn't sound like no RB, does it?
Oh, them's fighting words.
It sounds like they're making a new 3S engine. 5S, whatever you want.
One Toyota engineer boldly stated, Toyota has a global popular engine called the 2JZ engine. I would like to aim for an engine that surpasses that. It's a tall order, after all, the 2J is a revered 3-litre inline 6, but Toyota seems confident that this smaller 2-litre unit could meet or even exceed the 2JZ's performance and reputation. That's a big call.
3-litre inline 6, isn't that just commonly referred to as God's engine? Like it's the ultimate...
For balance and harmonics, isn't it? And the success of Toyota's G16E GTS 1.6-litre engine found in the GR Corolla, can tell this is American because I don't mention the Yaris, considering the Corolla's an afterthought. I mean, seriously.
Let's be honest.
Shows what can be achieved when compact engines are pushed to their limits. Early testing has already begun. Reports indicate that the two prototype vehicles, one being a 400 horsepower Lexus IS and the other a 600 horsepower Lexus RC.
600 horsepower, huh?
Out of a 2-litre. Well, that's going to be factory.
It's going to be factory 45, 50 pounds of boost, is it?
Yeah, boy.
There's going to be some electrification there. It'd be too lazy.
Rumours are swirling that these engines might also find their way into a future Toyota models, with whispers of a revived mid-engine MR2 or even the return of the Celica. I mean, realistically, every week there's a Celica and MR2 dodgy AI rendering that people always think's real for about 2 minutes before people point out it's not real. These are personally being developed at the request of Akira Toyoda. Now, he was the guy behind the Yaris and I think the Supra, wasn't he? They're basically reviving Toyota sports cars. But these engines aren't just about preserving the past, they're being optimised for future electrification.
Imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, you know?
signalling Toyota's intention to bridge traditional ICE tech with demands of modern electrified mobility. Is that just meaning hybrid?
I guess so, yeah. They have to go to hybrid for emissions reasons.
Whether it surpasses a 2JZ is still unknown, but one thing's certain is Toyota's ambitions for internal combustion technology are as bold as ever, and they're not backing down from the challenge.
Yeah, hang on, is this why they put a Subaru engine in the 86 and a BMW engine, which is just rubbish, in the Supra? You know, it's interesting, Judo. The 86 outsells the BRZ. I don't know, it's something like 6-1.
But is that because of price, considering that it's a Subaru car? But Subaru wouldn't care because Subaru's got, it's like royalties on that thing, right? How many Toyota probably sell. But why is that?
I drive a Subaru because I'm gay.
Generally, the Subaru haven't sold like a bargain basement model. It's always an upper spec version.
The only true Toyota is a Yaris and Corolla. Considering the other ones are re-stamped.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. How good would it be if they made a 6-cylinder, but you know that's just not happening?
No, it'll be 2 litre with some electrification, which will mean it's absolute rubbish.
Rubbish.
How good is our Barra? Yes, it's a streetcar T. FG Falcon with a parachute.
Please, Jordo, that's no street car. This is a street car. Supercharged VF. Is this the greatest Aussie car ever made? You can grab one today in our shop. shop.fullboost.com.au.
Here we go.
Luke, 2JZ and legendary should never be in the same sentence when the engine can only make 320 horsepower at stock. What has stock levels got to do with the fact as well, back in the day, a lot of these engines were way misrepresented with the power. Come on.
Are you
how did back in the day a stinky EJ20 made the same power as a 2J and RB and all those stupid gentleman agreements? It was all
bullshit.
If they want to make a proper performance car, they need to make an engine that can put power levels that will rival the Bugatti Veyron at least. Either a V8, V10, V12, W12, blah, blah, blah. No more excuses, otherwise they should just stick to making nothing but economy transport. Listen, kid, I think otherwise you should stick to doing your Year 10 homework because this is absolute garbage you are spilling here.
You know,
so a Toyota new engine's got to be on the same level as what, a $5 million Veyron. Sounds good.
You're going to put your 1,000 horsepower engine into a commuter Corolla.
Warm it up.
And then you've got the other end of the scale, the fanboys, right? That only 320 stock motor has made well over 3,000 modified, has broken tons of world records and is legendary for these reasons. It was built extremely well. Since when are cast original 2J engines making over 3,000 horsepower?
They do make a lot of power. Like pretty sure there have been some cars have run into the 5s on a cast block. However,
I don't think they realise what's done to these engines.
No, but they've only really got a reputation in drag racing. I don't think the 2J was ever... What has it really done in circuit racing? Like, it was never really used, was it?
Let's be truthful, Luke. It did come out in a boat.
Yeah, but let's be serious, right? It's no RB, is it, in terms of... No. And, did you know, Jordy, the RB, like the Godzilla, it wouldn't have never existed if it wasn't for the original Holden RB30. The first turbocharged RB30.
The original?
The original. So you can thank Holden for basically what the Skylines became.
What the hell are you talking about?
Holden showed Nissan what could be done with that engine. The Aussie Barra is way better, I'm sorry.
Not a chance.
Here we go. How long did I kept on thinking, when are the Barra comments
commonly referred to as an RB40, really.
The OG 2JZ GTE was an unresponsive iron-blocked anvil.
What?
It's not difficult to outdo that. People glorify it because of the sound and the potential for big power with big boost. Well, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, the potential for big power. Come on.
Have any of these people commenting actually driven any of these cars they're talking about? That's what it comes across like.
The reply, it's mainly just good for high-power drag racing where a heavy closed-deck iron block that affects handling doesn't matter. For anything else, a newer boosted alloy V6 with rods and pistons upgrade is more than enough.
Or like a VQ, one of those awesome sounding straight pipe VQ engines.
But hang on, why are they bringing newer engines comparing it to the 2J that's 20 years older? They're dumb comparisons. They already did 20 years ago. It's called the 2GR-FE and the 2GR-FZE. Now, they're a V6, are they in Camrys?
Yeah, 3.5 litre.
Popular engine to swap into MR2s. For a V6, because I am not a fan of V6s, they actually sound okay. They actually sound good. Plenty of modern engines that can outperform for half the cost. Name one modern engine that even comes close to the 2JZ.
Name me one.
Name me one. Not one.
Jordo, has this guy heard of a $100 green top? What's he talking about?
Clearly hasn't experienced the raw power of a green top. Not a single one can handle what the 2J has. It is ridiculously overbuilt and super strong. Other engines may have the same horsepower, but none can perform like a 2J.
Right. One thing that people never seem to take into account is, and it's because it's old and there's not many around, a lot of those engines. You took a lot of the engines from the 90s, a lot of the cast iron engine, rotaries, etc.
A lot of them are very good.
They're very good engines, and they do. However, they've all got very expensive now, just because, you know, supply versus demand.
When we grew up, those little C18s were popular. They were tough as. Now you never see them.
There's also a lot of aluminum engines now that you put a set of rods and pistons in them and they're pretty bulletproof.
Take the GR Yaris engine and 3 more cylinders and it's party time.
That cream.
Exactly.
Party time.
They did that 30 years ago. It was called the 1UZ.
Oh, that's the Toyota V8, yeah?
That was the one they sold in the Sora, yeah? Toyota didn't even build the 2JZ. Try to ask Yamaha for a better one. Oh, here we go. Someone's got to have the comment about Yamaha.
Bring in the Yamaha stuff. Jordo, that's like, that's a bit like the old, you know, what do people call the old LS? The Windsor?
4 cylinders are not the answer or solution. They're not what we want, not what we asked for. Toyota needs to stop pandering to the EPA and start listening to the people keeping them in business.
Does he realise the people keeping them in the business are buying RAV4s and Camrys and Corollas? Just full vanilla motoring.
Pure vanilla. That's a 10.
Look, they should build an engine and car, and then when it comes to production, it won't pass EPA emissions or anything,
No.
but they should build it because the people want it. But it may not actually get on the road, but that's irrelevant.
Jordo, did you say the people?
The people.
25 years later, and they're still trying to beat something from the 90s. I think engines are a bit better these days. If that doesn't tell you auto industry nowadays is not focused on performance, I don't know what will. So many people I see say modern cars are boring, they have no soul.
You don't know me.
They have no this and that. I'm thinking, what have you driven? Modern performance cars will completely out-handle, out-brake, out-accelerate all these old cars. They are so much faster. And they're actually, everyone says they're too expensive. They're actually not, if you have a look at the price of cars from the 90s, performance cars.
Go and get a stock Mark IV Supra versus a new Supra, stock for stock. Yeah, you're telling me which one, you're gonna hop out and go, the Mark IV's better to drive? Come on.
Don't bullshit me.
Toyota ain't making shit. Just stick to economy vehicles, that's only what they're good for. Oh, because you've driven their latest batch of performance cars, have you? Its only weakness will be the metal shavings Toyota fails to clean out of the block after machining or excess gasket material clogging the pickup.
There's been all sorts of engine problems with that current Toyota Tundra. But you know what? How many cars I see sold in the States with non-stop problems, and then other countries don't have any of these problems?
They should actually just sell every car in America for at least 2 years first, right? Because
they just love blowing everything up.
They'll blow everything up and then they'll learn what idiot. I reckon they had bad fuel or something, because how many cars come here and we just do not have the problems that they do in America with these cars?
But for one thing, Geordie, we're not doing 60 to 130 mile an hour pulls every time we leave the house down the highway, are we?
1986, the Nissan RB30 motor was released. In an era it was considered the best inline 6-cylinder engine made. Stick to Japanese, reliable, durable, and the innovators of the motor industry.
Hang on. Jordo, stop right there. Did he say Japanese innovators? We're talking Holden. He's referring to the original Holden RB30.
To demonstrate the smoothness of Commodore's new PowerTech engine, we placed a 50-cent coin on its side on top of the air intake, then accelerated the revs to 5,000 RPM. And the coin stays upright.
People buy the new Supra just to swap a 2J into it. No, mate. Maybe 0.1% of people have done that.
That's just, and solely that's just done for what? Internet clicks.
Like, this guy could be on the money. It's called a K24A. Honda did it back in 2004.
I'm now the owner of a Honda K24, and I have to say, it's a pretty smooth engine. Not the first one I've owned though. I've owned a K20. Very smooth engines actually. I have to agree in terms of, I don't think I've ever owned an engine apart from a rotary that when you drive it, you can rev the crap out of it, do whatever you want to it, and you never ever feel guilty. Tell us what you guys think. Do you think that Toyota can build another, well, I know it's a bit clickbait, 2JZ killer, but the reality is there's no 6 cylinders coming. Mazda has a straight 6 of all people. In an SUV of all cars, turbocharged.
So a 3.3 litre.
You have to wonder, are people going to start in 5 or 10 years, are they going to be transplanting those engines? There can't be too many in Australia, but
those 6 cylinders too are actually north-south mounted.
Yeah.
Like they're rear drive based all-wheel drives.
I met a guy,
rear based all-wheel drive.
I met a guy who had one, and he also has owned an XR6 turbo, and he said, stock for stock, he said they feel, obviously, the way the torque band is, he said they feel similar. But he said the auto in the Mazda, he wasn't too impressed with that. Anyway, tell us what you think. Do you think that there's going to be any more ICE engines? The reality is they're going to be, I don't think you're going to see much in the next decade. You're not going to see much over 2 litres. And not many, it's all going to be 3 and 4 cylinder, and it's going to be mated to some sort of electrical system that's got like an electric turbocharger with some sort of hybrid battery system. But that doesn't mean it won't drive great.
No, look at the C63's got a 4-cylinder in it, hybrid. And it makes a massive amount of torque, but it sounds garbage.
Yeah, but it's got to have, in that car, like it's got to have a V8. Come on. Yeah. So the answer is just, let's swap everything.
Fullboost Garage is a DIY workshop, meaning you can hire a hoist bay and tools and work on your car at your own pace. So far, we've had a range of people come in doing anything from oil changes, exhaust upgrades, and other repairs to their car. If you need something done to your car and don't have any space or don't have the right tools, get on the website and book in now.
Just want to give our long-term friend Mark Boxer a bit of a shout out here on Bench Talk. He's got some new coffee. Everyone needs a good pick-me-up, and this is the E85 Race Blend. So, she's pretty damn strong. And if you need something to drink it in, what about our green top cup? Grab one today.
That's a 10.